Hey y'all, it's Crystal. Welcome back. It's that time of the week. It's that time for the weekly reading update. And I have a lot of books to talk about today. So let's just dive right on in. Alright, thanks for stopping by. We're going to jump right in though, okay? Let's get started. So I'm going to start with some books that I finished first, of course. And I just had a hell of a reading week, friends. I really did. I read a lot of books this week. So first up, Ruby Jean Jensen's House of Illusions. Pretty bad cover. But this was a sort of group read over at Kelsey at Slime and Slashers. She had her old readathon, this month-long readathon, doing like carnival, amusement park, kind of themed horror month. And this was one of the books that we read together over chat about it on her Discord, House of Illusions. And this was pretty fun. We've got two kind of young girls. I forget their exact age. We'll say they're like 8 and 11, something like that. And their mom has like gotten remarried and just had a new baby and all that kind of stuff. And she seems to be a bit overwhelmed. So she kind of ships the two older daughters off to stay with their dad for a little while. Their dad that they have not actually seen in many, many years, and who just happens to work at a traveling carnival. Okay, Mom, that sounds very reasonable. But anyway, so they get to the carnival, and they start kind of getting into the life of the day-to-day, the carnival. Their dad works at a food stand, that kind of thing. Getting in the swing of things. His dad has a girlfriend that's part of the carnival. They meet, all that kind of stuff. At the carnival, though, is this thing called, at the carnival it's called the House of Mirrors. I think everyone knows. Those kinds of things, like those, they freak me out. I don't know, when you go through that maze of mirrors and you get so turned around, it's scary. The house is of glass, too. They freak me out. Anyway. And one of the little girls goes into the House of Mirrors and finds something that she probably shouldn't have. It's linked to some history of this House of Mirrors, which was formerly known as the House of Illusions. And so something basically has awakened from her finding this thing, and people start to die. So, creepy clowns. Lots of creepy clowns in this one. And so, I don't, I'm not like have a phobia of clowns, but I don't like clowns very much because they hide in something, and this was freaky. I did also use this for one of the prompts of the My Bloody Valentine readathon that happened this past week. That was hosted by Coral over at Pretty Paper Cuts. I used this for the prompt, a book that was like a slasher story or had like killings in it. This has some killings in it. So this was a lot of fun. Honestly, it was a lot of fun. The carnival setting was a lot of fun. The characters were, good. You kind of felt for them as they were dealing with what's going on and figuring out what's going on. The ending felt a little rushed to me, and I wanted actually a little more information about sort of the history of this House of Illusions, this House of Mirrors, and kind of how it was tied in to other things that were going on. But overall, it's a quick little read. It was a fun story. So it was good. It was good for kind of what it was, I enjoyed it. So, House of Illusions. And in my very first Ruby Jean Jensen book, so that was fun too. All right, and then to follow along the lines of the carnival themed horror, and another prompt for the My Bloody Valentine readathon was I finished Taste Like Candy by Ivy Tholen. And this one I used for the pink on the cover for prompt. It could also, of course, go for the slasher killer prompt for My Bloody Valentine. What else? I actually feel like I'm missing a book on my list. I just realized. So, but anyway, This is a YA horror novel. We're following a group of girls who are just going into their senior year of high school. And, they're kind of making their plans. They're getting accepted to college or not getting accepted to colleges, things like that. And and the outgoing senior girls have this sort of tradition of doing like a scavenger hunt for, a group of incoming senior girls. So this is sort of the plan for the day is this scavenger hunt. But things have changed a little bit this year, and this hunt is usually at the school, but this year it is at the local Halloween themed amusement park, of course. I forget what it was called, Poison Apple Halloween Carnival or something like that. And it's a carnival that's been around the town, I think since like the 30s or something like that. And it's just a tradition of the town. And anyway, so this group of girls, we meet them as they're kind of leading up to how their friendships are and all this kind of stuff. And we meet them. And then as they go into the scavenger hunt at the carnival, and wouldn't you know it, girls start turning up dead. And so and there is this masked person slashing people throughout the Halloween carnival. And it was a lot of fun. It really was. I don't read a ton of YA books, no particular reason really. I just don't. But this one was definitely a lot of fun. The characters were fun, and the murders themselves were quite grisly and disgusting and very descriptive. And so the violence was good, but you know what I mean when I say that, right? It was great. It was just a ton of fun, and so yeah, it was just fun. Really good little slasher book, so I'd recommend it if you are in the mood for a slasher, because it was a good one. Let's see, I read a short story called A Devil Dies Tonight by Jonathan Vick, and this was really good also. It's about a high school kid, and his father has passed away, so it's just him and his mom, and he's a bit overweight, so of course he gets bullied at school, and he makes a deal with someone to possibly make his life better. Things don't turn out very well. That's all I'm gonna say. It was a great little story, and I'd recommend you check it out. You can get it on Kindle Unlimited if you have that service. So it's pretty good. I won't say too much because it's a short story. So. And the book that I think I do not actually write on my list here. No pedal. Okay, I already talked about Petals on the Wind. For some reason, I was thinking I hadn't talked about it yet. Okay. Stick to the list, Crystal. You write it down for a reason. Okay. Moving on. Audiobook I listened to was We Are Never Meeting in Real Life by Samantha Irby. This is part of that sort of 12 for 12, challenge where you get 12 book recommendations from 12 of your friends and you read them for the year. My friend Kim sent me this recommendation. And this was funny. Samantha Irby, I've heard of her for a while now. She's got like tons of books out there, and but I hadn't read any, so that was great to finally dive into one of them. And it's basically sort of a series of, I guess you call them sort of essays, ranging from, oh gosh, I don't even know, like very humorous, but also full of a lot of just really a lot of truthfulness and frank. She's very frank and open. About her, sexuality, about race, about just working, about life in general, about some of her past, because both of her parents are died, her rough childhood, all that kind of stuff, and she, like I said, she tackles it with really open honesty, but also humor, and I just enjoyed the heck out of it. So that was fun. Enjoyed that. What's next? Another audiobook, and another actually. Check mark off of that 12 for 12 list is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. Friend Mackenzie recommended that one to me, and this is a romance book, and every now and then I'm in for a fun little romance, and this was pretty super cute. So our main character Stella is I think early 30s, and she's very engrossed in her work, kind of a workaholic. She enjoys her job very much. She's very good at it. It involves math and statistics. She's very mathy. And but she's kind of starting to get that pressure from her parents, weren't you getting married, giving us babies, that kind of thing. And the thing with Stella is that she does also have autism. So she is awkward in her relationships that she's had so far. And so she gets this bright idea to hire a male escort to kind of help her sort of loosen up, not get so tight around sexual activity, and help her with relationships. And wouldn't you know it, this guy is just the right guy for her, and they fall in love, and it's cute and fun, right? Yeah, it was just a fun little story. I liked seeing Stella, work through her autism throughout the story, and kind of give us a glimpse of what it was like for her. And there were some bits though where there was a little bit of maybe kind of self-hatred, and she definitely was feeling this pressure to like fit in. And I thought that was, I liked how that was handled. So yeah, in general, it was a fun, cute little romance. Not much more to say. It was, and quite steamy at times. So yeah, it was fun and cute, and I enjoyed it. The audiobook was done very well. All right, what's next? I finished my poetry collection that I've been reading this month, Ghost in a Black Girl's Throat by Khalisa Ray. I did do a little book chat on this, so I'll link that below if you're interested in hearing, just hearing some more thoughts, and I do a couple of readings from the book. I loved this poetry collection. Themes of, race, feminism, what it looked like to be a Black woman, the female body, history, ancestry, roots, how roots tie into the present, family, yeah, a lot of stuff going on in here, and I was pretty impressed, and I really enjoyed making my way through it this month. And then every time I look at this cover, I'm just like stunned. It's so good. Yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed that one. So put that over there. All right, what's next? Oh, I had a NetGalley, which I will do a separate review for this also, but When It Rains by Allan Gunnells. This is coming out March 25th-ish, and it was really good, and I'm going to do a separate sort of chat about it, since it's going to be coming out soon. So, but I like Allan Gunnells, and this was a really good novella, so more to come on that one. All right, and then I jumped in on a little buddy read with Brad Proctor, and we finished Light of the Jedi, which is book 1 in the new High Republic series for Star Wars books that Disney is putting out. And this is written by Charles Soule, and I enjoyed the heck out of this. I really did. I was very curious what they were going to do, what kind of story this was going to be, because it's Star Wars, but it's not the Star Wars that we know, you know what I mean? It's not, this takes place a couple hundred years prior to the events of like the Phantom Menace, and so like none of these characters are familiar, that kind of thing. Yoda's mentioned a couple times because of course he's still kicking around back a couple hundred years ago. And so I just didn't know. I didn't know how was it going to be? Ooh, tongue tied. So I loved it. I really enjoyed it. We see the Jedi Jedi are at their peak here. There's thousands, millions probably of Jedi that exist, and I loved seeing just Jedi do Jedi stuff. Lightsabers and cool flying fights and things like that. And so essentially what's going on, the Republic is building this thing called the Starlight Beacon, which they are putting in about the mid-rim, which is a big kind of connection to like the outer rim to the inner rim, you know, be just, like I said, just sort of a beacon, right? And there's going to be like a Jedi temple there and all this kind of stuff. So that's kind of I think going to be a crux of this story moving forward, is how the Starlight Beacon is sort of a central thing to these High Republic stories, I'm guessing. So at the very beginning of the book, we have this ship that's just, you know, kind of taking some passengers and, you know, things like that to, you know, some different planets and things. And these villains come in and basically blow the thing to smithereens, and there's basically sort of shrapnel of these explosions that's heading to planets that could really be quite devastating to these planets, and the Jedi are called in to help, things like that. That's the gist of our story, but we're learning more again about the Jedi that are going to be involved in these High Republic stories. So we're getting to know like Avar Kriss and Elzar, all these people, Buryaga, who was this Wookiee, who was a Padawan, you know, and then introduced again to these new villains called the Nihil, which are pretty cool. I mean, there's some pretty cool villains, to be honest. And there is one in particular, Marchion Ro, who is definitely more than he seems. So I enjoyed the heck out of it, and I can't wait to read more. So it was fun. The audiobook was fantastic. There's like music and sound effects, you know, pews, and it was fun. Audiobook was really, really good. I liked it. So if you're a Star Wars fan, I mean, know that it feels very Star Wars. I mean, things are very familiar, so you'll feel comfortable, but you just get a whole new cast of characters, and the world opens up for us a bit, I think, and I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. What's the last thing that I finished? Tristan Strong, Punches a Hole in the Sky by Kwame Mbalia. I loved this too. Oh my god, I loved this so much. We have Tristan, who is 12-ish. He's a 7th grader. It doesn't say how, I can't remember. He in the very beginning of the book, he has lost a friend, like a good friend of his, in a tragic accident. And his friend has left him a journal. His friend's journal is filled with like stories that he's collected and things like that. And so yeah, he has his friend's journal. He's also, you know, he's sad, right? And he's kind of struggling with the loss of his friend. And he's also struggling with having lost his like very first like boxing match. And his family has this like tradition of being like awesome boxers, you know. So he feels like he let his family down and things. He's just kind of down in the dumps. And so his family's like, why don't you go down to Alabama with your grandparents for the summer? You know, just take a break. You know, clear your mind a little bit. And, you know, spend some time in nature. I think he lives in Chicago. Don't quote me because I don't remember. But, you know, the city, you know. And so he heads down there. He doesn't really want to, of course, but he does it anyway. And lo and behold, someone comes in and steals his friend's journal. And so this leads him on this journey through this magical world. I'll show you this. Here's a cool map. So he's introduced to basically mid-pass and what what is all this world. So I guess it's sort of like a portal fantasy is what we would call this. But then we're introduced to other characters that live in this other world, like John Henry and Anansi and Gum Baby and Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, you know. So all of these like African gods, African American folk tales, folklore characters that are intertwined into this story, and it was amazing. Honestly, it was amazing as we are just introduced to this world and these really cool characters, and we go on this adventure to try to figure out what do they want with this kid's journal. How does it, you know, what's going on here, right? So it's so good, you guys. It was so good. I'm telling you, if you're looking for a middle grade series to start that has a different sort of lore, you know, like I said, really rich with the African and African American lore. It was fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough. It was amazing. I can't wait to get to the rest of the series. There's 3 books out so far. I don't know if it's going to be just a trilogy or not, but I'm diving right on into those because, oh my god, I just yeah. I had wrote down all of it. Yeah, John Henry, Brer Rabbit, Gum Baby, Anansi, Brer Fox, and Hi John, yeah. So, yeah, oh my god. It was so good. Okay, so those are the things I finished. I probably knocked my tripod. Okay. I do have some things in progress. We'll run through those just really quickly. I did start The Drawing of the Three by Stephen King. I started the audiobook. Got about half-ish way through. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say to it yet because I'm not finished. but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I did dive into Bloodchild by Octavia Butler. I think I said that last week, but I've only got a few more stories left in this collection, so maybe I can be finished by the end of February. Got a few more days, so loving these stories so far. And like I said, there were a couple of essays in here too. I read one of her essays yesterday, so it's Octavia Butler, so it's good stuff. I made a start on The Princess Bride, which is my book club pick. I have a little book club with my friends, and this was our pick for February, and I made a start on that again about half-ish way through. So I'm trying to finish that up. This is a reread technically for me, so I'm not stressing it too much if I don't actually finish it out. I've made progress in House of Chains by Steven Erikson. I got through part 2. So I get to now dive into part 3 now and hopefully finish this one up, at some point. I'm just taking my time with it and it's fine. And I did make a start on Of One Blood by Pauline Hopkins, and not much progress, just a few chapters in. I'm finding it a little difficult to get through. This was written in like 1903, so the language is just a little bit tricky for me. It's a little formal feeling, you know what I mean? So I'm just having to slowly dig through it, and but it's really cool so far. Also, because of the premise, there's this guy that brings this woman back to life, essentially. Sorry, I got stuff falling everywhere. I got stuff everywhere. So I want to know how it ends, of course. So I don't know if I'll finish it before the end of February, but I would like to. I don't know. So yeah, I've got a lot of things in progress that I need to have finished by the end of the month. It's not gonna happen, and it's fine. I did stop at the thrift store, so I'll show you a quick little haul that I got. I hadn't been to the thrift store in a while here, so I was impressed. I did get The Passengers by John Mars. I'd been very interested in this one, and so I was very excited to find that. It's like self-driving cars. Yeah, you're riding in your self-driving car when the door suddenly locks, the route changes, and you've lost all control, and a mysterious voice tells you you're going to die. Yeah, and I think it's all being projected as a TV show, kind of like all on The Running Man or something like that. So it sounds pretty fun. I found a Jennifer McMahon book, Burn Town. I've actually never heard of this one. But it's Jennifer McMahon, and I've read a couple of her books, and I really enjoyed them. So, yeah. I don't know much about it, but I'm going to read it. I found this book by Joseph Bruchac, who is a really well-renowned middle grade author. This one is called Res Dogs. And Bruchac is a Abenaki indigenous person. And this actually just came out last year in 2021, and it actually really kind of centers around COVID-19. And the little girl in here she goes to her grandparents' house at the reservation, and then like COVID hits, and so she's kind of stuck on this reservation with her grandparents, and they're not going anywhere. They're staying isolated, that kind of thing. And I think something's going on with this reservation dog that maybe she befriends the dog, I'm thinking, and and it's told in verse. I don't know. I'm just really excited about this to see, again, COVID-19, really in a story, and again how it pertains to the indigenous population. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just really excited about that. I think it sounds really great. So there's that. I found this one, What Could Be Saved by Lisi O'Halloran Schwartz. And it was an autographed copy. I mean, my paperbacks at my thrift store are 69 cents, so I paid. And then actually it sounded really cool. It features an artist, which I love books that have like an artist and things in it. So Laura is a reclusive artist at odds with her older sister Beatrice, and their elegant, formidable mother slowly slides into dementia. When a stranger contacts Laura claiming to be her brother, who disappeared decades earlier when the family lived in Bangkok, she ignores B's warnings of a scam and flies to Thailand to see if it can be true. But meeting him in person leads to more questions than answers. So I think it goes back and forth to time through that time that they lived in Bangkok and then this present day timeline. I don't know, it sounded pretty interesting. So I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. And I found this also. It was technically an ARC, which, of course you're not supposed to. But again, it was 69 cents. So I just picked it up. Max Boost the Third, Touch the Night. And, let's see. Stranger Things and Texas Chainsaw Unite. Okay. To form a blood-soaked matrimony of violence and corruption. I mean, that sounds fun right off the bat. So something sinister is hiding in the small town of Percy, Indiana. 12-year-old Joshua and Alonzo are about to find themselves up close and personal with it. That's all I'm going to read. That sounds fun. Looks like the cops get involved. So yeah, that sounds fun. And Max Booth the Third, right? So I think that's it. This is a really long video. So if you made it this far, thanks you so much for hanging in there with me. And I hope that you're doing well. It's been a rough week, of course, with the news this week. I've been, trying to, get information that's coming out of Ukraine and trying to stay informed, but not getting too overloaded as well. And I think, remind yourselves not to doom scroll for too long. And if you need a break, take a break. It's fine. You can do that for yourself. Okay. And, we'll leave it there. So I hope that you're doing well. Thanks so much for spending some time with me. And I'll check you in the next one. Bye, my friends.